crafters, this is Sandy with another edition of confusing my channel, my series for Make It Monday Madness, and it is November 24th, and today it's going to be it was kind of a mystery stamping. I gave you some stuff to have, and this is the project that we are going to do. And this is the inside of the card, so it folds flat to mail. It may need a little extra shipping or postage, but this is the card that we are going to make. Isn't that simply stunning? Yeah, it is. And guess what? This is actually a Sandy original today. So with that being said, let's get started. You've got your supplies, and let's get into it then. So I had given you some, not vague, but I gave you a basic supply list, cutting instructions and all of that. And for this particular project, we are actually going to use the Modern Christmas suite that is available through Stampin' Up. And I believe everything's available. I hope everything's available. And there I go, dropping a die. Great start. Can't reach it. So hold on. Sorry for the dead air, kind of. Oh, poop. I can't reach it now. The life of a crafter. So, and I forgot my machine, so that's okay. It's just a chair roll away. I need my machine, my die cutting, my cut and emboss machine from Stampin' Up for this. You may not. It just depends on what you have available. But I'm just going to put mine to the side, or whatever die cutting machine you use if you're using dies. Let me gather the rest of my supplies. And just a reminder, the Make It Monday Madness, I'm still feeling my way on what it will be like, and I really want you to weigh in. Do you want me every week to do something different, like once a month, do mystery stamping? Do you want kits, just freeform, just me go wild and not give you anything and you just follow along and hope for the best? I just don't know. So I'm gonna kind of waiting for feedback on that. And I did not bring, excuse me. So these are the Ornamental Christmas dies, and they come with a bundle, and that separate item number is 166000. Been a while since I've seen a 000, and it pairs with, you can get them separately or bundled together and save 10%. I highly recommend that. The Ornamental Christmas stamp set, which is 165991, and I'm putting that aside. And the Modern Christmas paper, I didn't bring the whole pack because I have limited space, but if you look up Modern Christmas or Ornamental Christmas on the Stampin' Up website, you will see it. It also had this black and white and gold baker's twine, so we're going to be using some of that. And I'm also going to be using this punch, and I'm also using, and I think I stated that in the instructions, the Perennial Postage dies. And that will be what I used for that opening. So let's go ahead and get started. If you want the full instructions and full supply list, you will have to email me at bows@needsaribbon.com for that. I'm not going to just post them. You will have to email me to get them. Otherwise, follow along. Again, I've given you the supply list or the rough supply list, and we'll get going. So what we need to do first, and I've already pre-done very little of this. Sorry about the banging. We need a card base in a color that matches our paper, right? That just makes sense. So I just need to score mine and not cut. Oh, get that out of the way. And I'm just going to do a quick check. Yep, we're recording. Just want to make sure. Okay, so there's our card base. We can go ahead and fold it in half already. No hurry on that. No time wasted either. So we also need a piece of DSP that is 5.5 by 8.5 also. Isn't that funny? So, or pattern paper or whatever you want to call it. So I need to make sure it is 5.5 tall. Go ahead and give that a slice. Save this for other projects. And make sure if you have a pattern paper, like if I were to have this facing out, or, you know, whatever, we want to make sure that the direction of our paper is facing the correct direction. And then by 8.5. So I can go ahead and remove that. Set this aside. That should be also, that's why I saved that. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this. Well, actually, no. Sorry, I'm confusing you. So I also said this needed to be scored. Let's go ahead and do this at 2, 4, 6, 8. So 2, 4. Guess I'm gonna have to bring it up here. 6, and then 8. We're gonna set that aside for now. We also needed, by my instructions, I have to look at my own little cheat sheet here. Duh. A DSP layer that is 3.5 by 4 3/4. This is my 3.5 because that was what was remaining from this large piece, by 4 3/4. This is what I'm using. You can use all kinds of different patterns, but I liked that this will be on the inside of the card and then this pulls to the outside. So waste not, want not. We also need DSP. That is, where am I? 2 by 5 1/4. So 2, actually, I'm just going to go over here to 4 because we need 2 pieces. So 4-inch wide hunk, just make it easy, by 5 1/4. It's already 5 1/4, and we need it at 2 wide. I'm going to make sure that these stay in this order just because on the finished, that way that kind of follows over there. That's just my idea. It's your card. You can do what you want. Then we need, hopefully I brought enough gold paper. If not, I have some within easy reach. I'm using gold layer for the front. So on the front we need, was 5 1/4. Or 5. Triple checking what I told you. Layer gold plate. 4 by 5 1/4. That is 5 1/4 by 4. And this may not work because I don't. And then we need another layer if we want. It is optional to do this. This is not long enough. So I will have to grab another piece of gold foil. I anticipated such shenanigans. So, wow, that's funny. Got it right. So I don't need that. I only need one of those. And then this should be big enough. So then we need 5 3/8 inches by 2 1/8. So I'm going to just go ahead and measure out 2 1/8 is 4 and a fourth, right? Yep, it is. That's the way I'm going to do it. And the reason for that is, it just makes easier math for me. By 5 3/8. And then we need to make sure that this is 2 1/8 by 2 1/8. Look at that. So that will go with these pieces. This will go with, I already set it aside. How about that? Not that piece. Oh, Lordy. I have lost my mind. No, I haven't. I'm kidding. You know, the longest part of this was actually coming up with how to make the mechanism for the inside. Why? Oh, here it is. There's my, okay, so that's our inside flaps and our outside. Let's set that aside with our card base because we won't need those for a little bit. We're going to set that all aside so we don't lose it. That is my recommendation. Now we've got some punching and die cutting to do. Now on mine, you may choose something different. I think I said make sure that you get something like this. If you want, you could just layer the tree on, but I like this. That is no more than 2 1/4. I believe I said. If not, I'm telling you right now, no more than 2 1/4 or 2 1/2, somewhere in there. So I used something else initially, the die that actually is in the Ornamental Christmas, but it turns out it was too big and didn't work in the mechanism. So I'm going back in. Wow, look at that. And I can put I'm using vellum. Just my choice. I'm going to put this aside. I think we're done with the little arm now. I'm done with my punch, so I'm going to put that aside before I get all messed up. And this was just extra. Messed up. And we have this. And we can just go ahead and decide right now which side we want out. I think that's it for cutting for now. Yeah, well, not entirely. Hang with me. I forgot something on my... We also need a piece of coordinating cardstock that is 3/4 of an inch by 6 inches. Okay? This is not my best choice. We're going to make it work anyway. It's not great because it already is scored. So we need it 3/4 of an inch. That's okay, by 6 inches. And I happen to know that 6 inches is that edge. Hopefully I'm still in camera, mostly. Okay. So 3/4 of an inch by 6 inches. And we're going to score it at, I'm a little nervous to do this, I gotta say, because this is a pretty big deal card, and I want you to have a good experience. So we need to score it at 1 3/4, 2 3/4, 3 3/4, and if you did this ahead of time, good on you. And then at 5 1/2. And I will tell you right now, what's it going to do? It's going to go like this, like this. We can put all our score lines in one direction. And that's going to be the mechanism on the inside of our card. Okay? So we needed that. I think that's it for now. We will have some die cutting and stuff like that. So I don't need this. That's scrap now. That's our thingy. So why don't we go ahead and grab our, I'm just going to let that kind of hang out there so you can kind of see it. So we've got these pieces ready to go. Also, I'm going to put them inside my card. I'm just kind of keeping all my supplies like this. I'm going to grab my machine already used my punch. I only had one punch because of how I'm doing this. You will do it your way. And it will all be great. You know what? I don't need this quite yet. And that is okay. We're just going to have it chill in our camera view. And I need my ink pad. We're going to set this aside because we will need that momentarily. And we have some die cutting to do, or I have some die cutting to do. I don't know if you will, but I do. Because of, I need this piece and this piece and this piece and the little star. So I need to get, and we'll come back to what I'm using as the Perennial Postage dies. We'll come back to those. But in the meantime, I'd like to get my stamp on. And my stamp set is right here. This seems more chaotic than it is. I'm just kind of, again, a little bit nervous to film this. Just am. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I am using the 'Tis the Season from the Ornamental Christmas as my outside greeting. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that right there. And then I'm going to, and I will wash these after. And then I'm going to go ahead and use this tree from the Ornamental Christmas. Maybe I should show it to you the right way. This tree from the Ornamental Christmas. And it'll just, I use a D block for most of my stuff. Just because that's the way so much is sized these days. Make sure we ink up our stamp, or I'm inking up my stamp. You can ink up yours. And again, I haven't said it for a while. This is Sandy, and I need to do some spacing. This is Sandy with Needs a Ribbon. And this is Make It Monday Madness. And I really, really, really hope you're going to enjoy this card. I just need to see spacing. So we need to go that way. That's all. That's really all I wanted to do. And we might have one more stamp. I did, and I need it. And I didn't bring paper for it. Oh my goodness. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And mine needed to be, I have to pull in my instructions. I'm going to put the cover over the ink pad. Again, this is kind of a, that's that. I have a greeting that is 1/2 by 3 3/4 inches. So I need to go ahead and cut a piece for that because with my stamp set, that's what I'm using for a greeting right there. Put these on our machine so they're staged. Right. 1/2. Sorry, I might be a little bit off camera. By 3 3/4. And we'll get that stamping out of the way. That way we can get that ink pad out of the way. And Sandy can not lay her hands in it. That would be most gracious. But yeah, this is, I'm actually kind of tooting my own horn here. I came up with this idea all on my own. And do a test stamp. So that looks pretty good. And let's hope and pray that it all fits here and I don't mess up. Sorry about my head. Yay! That's good. It's good. It's good. We're going to set that aside. I'm going to put it in my card. We're done stamping, or I am. You may not be. You may have to come back to that. And some of these decorations you absolutely can finish later on your time. And I'm not trying to say, you know, you're on your own, blah, blah, blah. But, oh, I need this little star for the tree. in my card, and I need the little ornament topper jobby thing. I'm going to put this aside, and I've got some gold right here. I've got some other spare stuff. I cut this out. It's part of the dies. I couldn't really get it to work on my card. I didn't like it. I'm going to keep the Be Jolly aside for a minute, and I will show you when we start assembling our card as an alternate to, actually it's an alternate to the greeting on the inside. You don't have to have a greeting on the inside. I chose to because I wanted to fill that beautiful space. So I'm gonna use Post-it note. That's what I do, or washi tape, whatever. I happen to have a Post-it note handy to make sure that they don't slide around, because we don't have a magnetic base with this. There, that's good. And you know what? We can absolutely just do it all at once. Look at that. Isn't that just nifty? So let's get all our die cutting done at once, or at least you may have to run and do a couple pass throughs your machine or your punches. If you're using punches, it's your card will be yours. So we have this. Pull my Post-its off. We have this. I'm going to put them inside my card. I'll show you in a minute. My star. Done with that. I'm not going to put my machine away. And this. So I need to put all my dies away before I lose them. They're about to get knocked off. So this is all my card stuff that I have so far. I'm just keeping it all in the card base just to keep it nice and neat and kind of out of the way. Now the nervous wracking part is to teach you how you are going to cut this piece. It's actually fairly easy. So let me just take a moment, and I'm going to grab my die. I'm using Perennial Postage for mine. I'm going to put I'm all done with my Ornamental Christmas dies. I'm just going to plop them in here so I don't knock them all over. But we're going to take our 5.5 by 8.5 piece of DSP, or if you use solid color cardstock, that's fine too. That may work too for what you're doing. I'm using the second largest Perennial Postage die. Put that aside, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to take, so it doesn't really matter which way this paper was facing before you freak out. Excuse me. With your little flap. So you want to fold it really in half is all we need to do right now. Like this, at the 4-inch score mark. Okay, so fold your paper, your pattern paper, cardstock, whatever it is. While you're doing that, I'm going to catch a drink. And again, station break. This is Sandy with Needs a Ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and just fold this up. And the only reason I'm doing that, I mean, you can anyway, but is to, so I have enough width this way. So this is Sandy with Needs a Ribbon, and we are here for Make It Monday Madness, and it is a little bit of madness, this card, but I love it. So we want to take whatever die or punch that we're using for our card opening, this part, and we want to fold our pattern paper in half. I recommend that whatever is going to be on the outside is on the outside right now, and whatever is going to be the inside of that cube mechanism is on the inside. And I folded this out of the way because I need a little more width to work from here. The little 1/2-inch flap, as I will call it later on. And we want to take whatever we're using. And I've gone ahead and there are 5 notches on each side. So I took a Sharpie and marked where my midpoint is for this die. So I just thought that that was kind of a smart idea. I really want it to be as accurate as I can. I mean, if your window is off center, that's also a look too. But I've got it marked. It's secured with Post-its or washi tape or whatever you're using. And it's time, people. It is time. Let's run that bad baby through, or punch. And if you are punching, you will have to make sure you come in from probably the top. Let's see, how would we do that? If you have a punch that is big enough. I am done. And now we have this cool extra piece to use on a different project. Here, let me get my Post-it notes. That was just what I had handy. Washi tape works. There's other things, other tricks of the trade. My Perennial Postage. So this is what it now looks like. Okay. And you now have this extra piece to use on a different project. I'm putting mine way aside. So I'm done with the dies too. So I'm going to put my machine elsewhere. And it's going to bang, probably. Yep. So let's take a look. I still have my punch here. If we were to punch this, so with it folded flat, you'd probably have to come in this way, drop in from the top. You could even, that actually would be kind of cute too. You can make like a snowman opening and do bump and bump, and it would, you know, boop. That would be cool, you guys, for a different card if you're doing like a snowy scene. Ta-ha! There you go. Isn't that cool? Okay. So we are done with this piece for now, so set it aside. We're going to bring in all our card pieces, and what we're going to work with for a little bit is this piece, the 3/4 by, was it 6 inches? And that really should be cardstock and not pattern paper, just because you need a little more substance for that quote-unquote mechanism. We need our inside decorations, which in my case is that. The star. Eventually I'll need this. I need my vellum. I'll show you what that thinking is. Is that all I need right now? And my baker's twine. I'm going to put that off to the side, pull in my baker's twine, and you will absolutely, I think I said that on the instructions, tear and tape you will need. You will need dimensionals or some kind of dimensional foam. And glue is not bad to have on this. You could do it all with tear and tape and the dimensionals. You could actually just do it all with tear and tape. But anyway, so what we're going to do is, I've got to pull in my instructions because I've only made this once. And you'd think I'd be a pro. Ha ha. That is funny. No. It is not funny. We want this to be success. We want this to be cool. So we cut out all our pieces. We stamped all our pieces. Assemble the inside mechanism. So what we need to do is, this is where tear and tape or something like this, a stronger adhesive tape, really. So our little 1/2-inch flap that we did it 1 3/4, 2 3/4, 3 3/4. And then that was 5.5 by 6. Yes. And we want to put a little piece of tape. I think it goes on the outside. Really isn't going to show much. It should have gone on the outside. You know what? That's okay. It should go on the outside. I just will rescore this. That's okay. So it goes on the outside, or make sure it's facing up. We're going to remove that backing. And we're just going to go ahead and bring this thing together And we really just want to wrap that so that 1/2 inch flap is what's going to form the whole circumference. So like that. Okay. Now we are going to take and we're going to work with the middle pieces next. So I want to put my star on. I want that to set up a little bit because that foil paper gets a little slippery. So we're going to give that a few minutes to set up. Let's work with, I'm doing the long greeting. I'm going to have to make sure the card shuts appropriately, I'm going to have to fold it in half. That's okay. Let's go ahead and while that paper is drying, let's put some dimensionals on the back of our decoration that goes on the inside pop-out mechanism, as I'm calling it in my instructions. And here's where, and when we start assembly, I'll show you, and if I forget, this is what you could use if you're not using a long greeting like I was using from the stamp set. There is also the Be Jolly from there, and then I just fussy cut it. I just hand cut it out, which instead of doing that, you could just put it there or put it here. Something like that. Okay, before I just realized I forgot one step in mine. It doesn't apply to everybody, but I need to bring in my ink and a blending brush. And here's why. I realized as I was putting this together, it's not for this one. Never mind. It's for the outside. But you know what? We got it here. Let's do it. Let's just do it. I realized as I was assembling this that it needed a little dimension. The white on white just was not a good look. It really wasn't. So let's just go ahead and do that now. If you email me for the instructions, it's going to not be quite the same. I'm kind of going a little off order, and that's okay because it's not an exact science. That way this has a chance to dry. Let's fuss it up a little bit more. Give it a little more, but do you see how that really helps it pop with that stark white? There we go. That looks good. That way we can get our ink pad out of the way again because I just did that. Yep, I did it. Hold on. Thank goodness I have dark pants on. I can wipe them on my pants. Oh my goodness. Sandra. So we'll put that aside to dry. Okay, so we need to, we've got this assembled. So next we need to apply our decorations to the outside of the mechanism. And we're only going to apply it to one of the 1-inch fronts. So when it is, your card is shut, it lays like that. And so it's not going to go across all of that. You see what I mean? It's only going to attach to one side, and you can pick which side. I would recommend whatever you're going to call the left side. Why don't we call the left side that side, and the little flap can go on the back. One of the 1-inch flat fronts there. So we need our tear and tape again. And again, it goes like that. Or you could have it so it goes the other way. It's largely up to you. But we need a little bit of tear and tape there. We can do that now. And I'm also going to finish, that's something else. I need to finish putting this piece together. So we need to put our decoration for the middle box, or the mechanism as I'm calling this, together. And goes on like that. Yep. And we need to remove that adhesive, the backing from your tear and tape or whatever. We want to figure out, do we want it in the center? Do you want it to pop up? Now is your time to decide how and where that mechanism is going to sit. I put mine largely in the middle. If you want it a little lower, you could do that. You could put a little lower. Whoops. Get out of the way. I forgot. I did it again. I did it again. Okay. We're done. Sandy messed up. I need to take this off. On mine. On yours, it may be different. I wanted to add some baker's twine to that. Thank goodness. Dimensionals are really easy to peel off vellum. Did it again. How many times am I going to do that? So anyway, I need to, that's okay. I need to grab some, I'm using the black and gold of the baker's twine from the Modern Christmas Suite. And I need to just make some, I'm just going to what they call tousling it. And I wrapped it around, in my case, 4 fingers, because I know that about fits. And we're going to apply that in a messy, and this is, some people don't like to do this because they don't like the messy, in a semi-messy manner. And if you don't like the messy look, then this may not be the way you apply your ribbon. Why is it being goofy? You know what? We're going to start all over. My ribbon. We're going to start all over on that. I do not like how that laid down. So I've already got it cut. I went around 4 fingers because I know that's about the length, or but we're going to lay it down. I'm going to take those little ends. This is my tip. I put them on the dimensionals that I already have down, so that wasn't bad. Where's the other end? I can go like that. That's fine. And we need to just apply some more dimensionals to hold that down. And I would put one, it'll hide right up here. And just kind of one more in the middle to kind of make sure things are secured, and to get those the backing off your dimensionals. And now we can go ahead and put it down on our vellum circle. In my case, you put it down if you've got another layer there. And while you're doing that and catching up, I'm going to take a quick, fast water break. Sorry about that. Okay, so my interior decoration is done. Look at that. So I'm going to, on this one, you want to make sure that you are centering it on your mechanism. So remember, it's only 2 inches wide. And I believe I said in my instructions, this couldn't be wider than like 2 1/4. 2 3/8 is pretty close. It works because that's what the circle punch is. But we want to make sure, I'm going to go ahead and center it just for the sake of this video. It's just easier. Make sure that is pretty much in the middle. Nobody's going to critique if it's not. So our inside mechanism is almost done. Now we need to take our tear and tape again. We need, pieces no longer than like 1.5 inches, because these sides are 1 3/4 inches. We want to put them on, that's the back corner of your card, the fold of your card. So you want to put them on the 1 3/4 inches long sections. And we're just going to let that chill out for a minute. That is doing its thing. And we're going to come back to that in a minute too. So let's bring over our card base. We are ready to put this on. And what we want to do first is we're going to take and go like this. We're going to take and fold. Actually, that doesn't go that way. We're going to take and leave that like that. Actually, we can go ahead and it doesn't matter. I have it different in the instructions, and that's okay. It really honestly doesn't matter, but I'm going to put some tear and tape along that 1/2 inch strip. And we need to go ahead and, that's what secures our box. We can just go ahead and put that down right now. It's not going to show. And here's why it's not going to show. Here is, while we still have a chance to work with this, let's go ahead and fluff up our box and burnish those score lines a little bit. Those are the 2 inch and 6 inch mark, 8 inch mark. Let's go ahead and get that ready. Okay. What we need to do is, so we've secured that flap. We've made our box, complete box. Does that make sense? Now we want to make sure we put some tear and tape or glue. I used glue on mine. I'm going to use tear and tape this time. Either work. Glue gives you a little bit of play because you can slide it around a little bit. But we want to put some adhesive on the back side. So make sure your box, mine, it says fa la la. I don't want to make sure it goes in like that. Make sure your directional paper is good. Excuse me. So why don't we, yeah, I'm going to do tear and tape on this side so you can see. And I'm going to go ahead and release that backing already. And we're going to put our card base like this at a right angle so we can get that all the way in and lined up top and bottom like that, right? Then I'm going to I'll use glue on this side. And now we want to press that, smush it is my instructions. Smush it flat. Okay. See, isn't that cool? That's cool. I think it's cool. So next we want to take and put our mechanism in. And you could have done this before you assembled your box. Either way, when I made mine, I put my mechanism in first. I think it is fine to put it in second. Either will work. Just understand you are limited by space. So I want this kind of centered. And we're going to make sure, again, our card is kind of at a right angle. We're going to smush that in. And we're going to make sure it's flat. And we're going to smush that on. We're doing it, people. We are 3/4 of the way done. We're done with the hardest part. So this is, it's not there. We want to make sure that we are smushing. So I'm giving it an extra rub where that mechanism is. Okay. And I have a little bit of exposed adhesive on the back side of my star, and that's okay because you know what? I can just take my finger and untacky it. Just put grease on it. Or you can put a little piece of paper on it too. Okay. Is this all? Yes, this is attaching correctly, almost. Okay, I'm having a little problem because the way my paper got scored, that's why. That's okay. Yep, there we go. So it just was, I had used a paper that had already been scored in a section. That's part of why. It's just trying to bend right there. You can kind of see that. Really doesn't need to be doing that. Okay, we're good now, people. We are good, card. We are good. Okay, so we have this lovely, lovely thing. And now we need to put our greeting on. So for mine, because I have a long skinny greeting and I wanted to cover up the postage marks of that, I'm just going to use a little bit of the edge of my dimensional backing. And I'm going to put a little bit on one edge on the back side and on the other edge on the back side. And I really hope you're liking this project. Again, Sandy with Needs a Ribbon. We're on Make It Monday Madness on November 24. And we're playing with the Modern Christmas Suite, making this really cool kind of pop-up card. So let me pop-up inside card. So this is how I did it. I made sure everything was folded. So that corner of the box in the corner of my greeting or score line up. And then we're just going to go ahead and again, and this is where instead of doing that greeting, you could use Be Jolly or something else on the inside or on the corner here. Okay. But I wanted the long greeting. I guess for this one, I could have used the Be Jolly right there. Either way, now we are almost done. We need to decorate. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and make this. We're going to finish that particular section. There it is. We're going to finish this little front guy and then we'll put them on in a minute. Okay. I'd like the glue to dry a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put my little ornament metal piece on. How many people still have their tree up already? No judgment. It's okay if you do. We're going to put ours up over Thanksgiving weekend. We have not had a tree since 2020 for a lot of reasons. Life has been very busy. So I cut a small on mine because of the type of front that I am. I'm using the little ornament bobble die for my greeting. I cut a little piece of the baker's twine to kind of bring the colors out to the front or into the inside, however you want to look at it. And I just cut that and make sure that gets lined up correctly. Like that. That works. And then we'll put a few more dimensionals on that. We're going to set that aside then. So we're working on our front decorative greeting piece now. And again, you may choose to decorate the front of your card very differently from me. That's just what I chose to do. Okay, so now we need to bring in these long skinny side panels. And you didn't have to. I said it was optional. Whether if you wanted to layer some cardstock, I used gold foil for these, or you could just glue them right on. I like the little thin punch of foil that it brings. So let's go ahead and we're just going to use regular glue, or I am, to put on this. And it makes a very, very skinny border. But it just frames it nicely, I feel. Again, you don't have to. It is optional. And you may find with whatever, if you used a pattern paper, it doesn't need it. I just really wanted to bring in as much gold foil as I could and let those sit a minute. And this is my right one. As you recall, I tried to keep them in order so that image will carry across to the other side of the card. So I'm going to let that dry. Give it a little extra rub since I didn't give it a long time to sit. And we're going to take the inside of our card facing up and we're going to adhere this. Just put a little glue or tear and tape or whatever adhesive you want to use. Mono or tape runner, whatever you're using. And see, you just get those skinny borders, but gosh, it makes it pop. You could even, and if you are sending this card and are actually going to sign it, this would be a good place to do it. You could add more greetings. You could even add pictures, because the point of this card is to, stand out like that. We are almost done. We are almost done. We are almost done. I'm so excited that I got you through this. I hope you really are enjoying this project. And now it's time to work on the front. So for mine, I kept it simple because nobody's going to spend a lot of time looking on the outside. They're going to look at that fun inside. Am I right? Pretty sure I'm right. Okay. I'm going to put this down. Put my greeting on my card front. And again, if you want the full instructions, you'll have to email me at bows@needsaribbon.com. And that's, oh, there's no glue down there. Okay. We'll give it a little bit. In my haste, I was not as thorough as I am. So we'll make sure this gets a full pass there. Fold your card flat. We want to make sure we get our front centered. It should have an 1/8 inch border around, if that's how you cut it. And guess what? I'm not going to add any other embellishments or anything. I really feel this card kind of stands on its own. Literally. Ha ha. Good one, Sandy. Anyway, this is the one that I made ahead. It's been well handled, man-handled a lot, or Sandy handled a lot. And this is the one that we made during our Make It Monday Madness. And I just love. So make sure that your mechanism and that whatever you put on the middle is free and stays inside the inside of your card when you fold it flat. I hope you've enjoyed this project for Make It Monday Madness. Again, it was a little bit of a mystery stamping type thing. I gave you some cutting instructions and all of that, and here we are. And if you're just catching up, you'll get there. It won't take you much longer. It really isn't. It isn't that difficult. I call this medium as far as a card goes. It's really more about just precise scoring and precise cutting. But I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Make It Monday Madness for this beautiful Christmas card that is a pop-out box card. I think I'll call it that. I'm not entirely sure what to call it. I thank you for joining me. And please comment below if you've enjoyed this. If you'd like to see more cards like this. Or whatever you'd like to see for Make It Monday Madness that would make you happy. And thank you for following along. We will see you on the next one. I think that's December 1? Or is it December 2? That'd be December 1. Wow. Okay. We'll see you then. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you, love you, and have a great Thanksgiving week. Bye-bye.